ready?
Born ready. All right, so today is a very special Q&A. Clearly, I have a special guest, Grant, if you've never met him before. If you've ever watched my vlog channel before, you've met him. I finally got him to do a Q&A with me. Not that he was resistant, but...
I've done a Q&A, but I was behind the scenes for that one.
We had a whole concept for that. It turned into something different. If you missed that Q&A, it was pretty good. It was pretty revealing. Yeah. We didn't even plan for that.
It was good.
Anyway, my last Q&A, a ton of you guys asked if I could somehow make a Q&A happen with both of us together. We're long distance right now, even though we get to see each other a lot. I'm obviously visiting in LA right now, and we're just about to go to San Diego, and the timing was perfect. So here we are. A bunch of you guys asked questions, like a ton of you guys asked questions on Instagram. Okay, so we're just gonna kind of pick at random because there are just so many questions. And when I asked Grant to do this, he was like, oh yeah, cool, like yeah, let's do this. And then when he saw the questions start to come in on Instagram, he's like, whoa, some of these questions are pretty deep.
They're deep.
I don't think he expected that.
You guys cut deep. Oh, here's a good one. I didn't see this one before. Sheesh616 asks, what are your love languages?
Oh!
5 love languages.
Okay.
So we did love languages a long time ago, like probably a year ago. We have very similar ones.
Yeah, they're almost the same. He guessed my love languages.
I did.
Like almost exactly. But like my top 3 are almost all tied. So I'm basically just very, very needy. I need all the kinds of love equally at all times. Yeah, so it's like quality time, physical touch, words of affirmation.
Yeah.
Your top ones were like quality time.
And the number 2 was, I don't remember.
Or might have been words of affirmation.
I think it was words of affirmation.
Yeah, so we're like almost the same, but quality time is definitely big up there for both of us, which is good. I think that would be awful if you were somebody that needed a lot of quality time and your partner was like...
Yeah, gifts.
Yeah, just give me a gift, I'll see you in a month.
Send stuff to my house.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Who's next? I don't know.
I don't know if we talked about this one before. Jake's Mommy 2008 asked, what did I think about LeighAnn's YouTube career when we first started dating?
Oh yeah. And what did you think?
So when we first started talking, like I shared my some of my social Instagram and stuff with her so she could, you can kind of scope each other out, and then she was being very dodgy about hers, which at the time I didn't even think about it, but that really seems like she was catfishing me, and I didn't ever think about that at the time, but looking back, it definitely seemed like you were trying to catfish me. But then she finally kind of shared it with me, and I remember I was like sitting in my car and I looked it up, and I was just kind of scrolling through, and it was like, her Instagram's not like a lot of personal pictures. And then I looked at the top and she had like 300,000 subscribers, and I was like, wait a minute, who is this girl? Then I clicked through and saw the YouTube channel, and at the time I didn't know anything about YouTube. The only thing I ever watched on YouTube was like movie trailers. I didn't know like all the stuff that went into it and everything, and it was like a whole new, I didn't know anything about influencers. It was this whole thing. I was just like, whoa.
I hate that term, influencers.
Well, yeah, but I thought it was really cool. It was something I wanted to know more about. I was so intrigued. I was like, who is this? Like, what is this?
What is this?
I wanted to know everything about it.
But okay, so to explain why I was dodgy about it, like we talked about in the last Q&A we did together, we met on Tinder, and I feel like it is very natural to share your social media once you start getting along with somebody and you're talking. But for me, I didn't want to share my YouTube and my Instagram and stuff like that because I felt like that almost robbed me of my first impression. Like someone would go in and watch my vlog channel or LeighAnnSays, and they'd feel like, I don't know, it's like they'd get their first impression of who I am and what I'm like from my channels, which is I would rather meet someone face to face and have that as my first impression. So basically that's where I was coming from.
No, I understand.
And it turned out I was not catfishing him, which it does seem like that.
Yeah, it definitely does. I'm still suspicious. I was definitely waiting to see who showed up for the first date. I was kind of like...
You're in it for the long haul though. Okay, anyway.
It worked out. Sarah Marie 23 asks, and several people asked about what our plans for our honeymoon are. Right now we don't know.
Yeah, we haven't even really talked about it that much.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about it that much, and we'd love to hear everyone's suggestions and ideas on places they maybe went and they liked, or
even if it was just a vacation, it was just like
vacation.
A place, because we kind of like to go everywhere. Like, we have fun no matter where we go. And that's probably one of the reasons why we haven't talked about honeymoon that much, because we're like planning so many trips before the wedding. And we're still like, oh, we're going to India, oh, we're going to Mexico, oh, we're gonna go to Disney in the spring, right? And like, there's so many things going on right now that we haven't even really touched on that. But like, I mean, I'm open to whatever. Y'all's suggestions would be really cool.
Blushing Mommy asks, I'm gonna get really real, really fast, and ask about the K-word kids. You've answered this sorta in a long past video, but I'm wondering where you and Grant are on this topic. I don't think that's...
Hashtag too personal, hashtag boundaries, hashtag...
We both want kids.
Yeah.
We've talked about kind of somewhere around 2 to 3 kids. We'll sort of see how things go, and I think that you kind of have to have a rough idea, but you kind of go kid by kid and then see.
Yeah, and you have to go with the flow of like what happens and when it happens, because like right now we don't know where we're gonna be in a year. I don't know, we just kind of have to see how things go, but we definitely want kids. And you don't have to call it the K word. It's okay.
Yeah, it's not weird.
I feel like anybody, I feel like I know what video you're talking about when somebody asked me about having kids and I talked about how I was scared. And
well, there was that vlog you put out that was like, could I be pregnant? No,
that was a Q&A, and that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was, and I talked about being scared and being scared of being pregnant, and that's mostly what I was talking about, like the fear of like actually giving birth, which I feel like if anybody, I don't know, this is probably way too general, but I feel like if anybody says they're not at least a little bit scared of giving birth, they're lying. Or maybe they've done it before and it went really, really well, but I just feel like it is a scary thing to do, and it is something that's like a huge stress on your body, and it's, I don't know, it just kind of makes me nervous, and I think that's where I was coming from when I was talking about that stuff. But I've always wanted to be a mom, and I've always wanted to have kids and have a family. So yeah, there is fear, but I also feel like it's something that you get over in the moment, or you just kind of accept that, hey, this is part of the deal.
Yeah,
it's like a miracle.
Yeah. So,
and then you look back on it and it's obviously something you would never like take back.
Yeah.
Unless you die. Sorry for the darkness. Beauty Bulletin said, how did you find your premarital counselor? Well, we're kind of in like a challenging situation since we're long distance, and so we can't go and meet someone face to face together, which would be ideal, but I think Grant actually found her, and she's in Denver, so we're talking from 3 different time zones, and sometimes it gets confusing.
Can be confusing to coordinate.
But we Skype, so we're all there. I mean, it's pretty much the best that we can get, but we just do it all online, and she's really cool. And I mean, did you search for something? Basically, we were just searching for someone that could do premarital counseling all online.
We could tie in the...
There are so many good questions.
Scootsy Dale asked, I want to know about the premarital counseling. Did you find out stuff you didn't know? Do you feel more prepared for married life cohabitating now that you've done it? My idea of premarital counseling is like kind of talking about issues. I don't even really know.
Just like your basic things, like, oh, you're supposed to hit like, are you on the same page with like how things are going to be money-wise, you know, future with like family relations and children and career, work-life relationships. So I see those as like some of the like staple topics that you do in premarital counseling. Yeah. And we've definitely talked about those along the way, but we've also been talking about stuff that's like more personal to our relationship, and also with like the long distance stuff and kind of like the whole unknown factor of like literally where are we going to be in a year? We have no idea. But like there's a lot of stuff that we've gone into that's more personal, which is, I mean, I really, really liked that, and it's actually been really good for us. And there was part of me that was kind of doubtful, where I was like, you know, is this gonna be effective? I guess you never know, and it depends a lot on the person that you're with.
Yeah.
And also like, I guess your personality types, but me and Grant are like all about like talking about like a relationship. Like we've always been like that for some reason, and that's something that I really like about our relationship, because we're just like kind of hyper aware of the situation and like very like, oh, how are we doing? What are we doing? Like, how can we make this better? And stuff like that. And I think that's essential, and I think Grant agrees with me, and that's a big strength that we have. And especially it comes in handy when you're doing something like counseling in any way, because we're both really open to it.
Yeah, and it's something it's not, we don't feel like someone else is kind of dragging their feet or...
Yeah.
But I mean, I think in general, the biggest thing, you know, well, a lot of that stuff is very important for a marriage, but I think just being able to communicate well is the sort of the foundation of a good relationship.
It's the foundation, and it's also like what seems like the biggest challenge, you know, because it can go wrong, and then it's just like everything falls apart after that. So
yeah, well,
and that happens to anybody.
It does, and I think it's hard. You know, we're all maybe a little bit selfish, and I think we always kind of want to get our own way. And so I think that when, you know, stuff comes up and you see things differently, you kind of have to work that out.
Yeah.
And to do that every day for 100 years, you know, you kind of have to, the earlier you figure that out, the smoother things are going to go.
Yeah, that's like my mom's biggest piece of advice is just, I don't know exactly how she says it, but essentially she says that the source of all problems is wanting your own way.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's like making it very like boiled down to just one sentence, but I really do think it's true. And it's kind of like learning that over and over again. I mean, that doesn't really have anything to do with premarital counseling. We kind of got off topic, but basically it has been beneficial. And I do feel like we've learned stuff. It was one thing that we're like going on so long about this one topic, but it was one thing that I was really excited to do, I guess, because, you know, we're long distance. We got engaged right before we went long distance, and I was really freaked out about that. I was freaked out about that even before we got engaged. I was freaked out about that from like the first month we were dating, because I was just like, I'm falling in love with you. I don't want to fall in love with you. You're gonna leave me. You know what I mean? And I was just like nervous because I know my personality. I know that I don't like long distance. It's not good for me. Like, I'm huge on quality time, and it's just really hard for me, and I knew it was going to be a challenge. And like, I wasn't really ready to jump into wedding planning yet, but I felt like that was one thing that I was really eager to get started on as sort of like a wedding planning step. It's just like, hey, this is something that we can do right now, and I think it's going to kind of serve two needs in a way. That's why we started so early, basically, because I think people usually just kind of like go along, and like if the church that they're getting married into requires it, then they do it. Okay, let's do another question. We gotta change beats. Okay, here's one a lot of people have asked. Moni Lizzo Campo said, after you guys get married, where are you planning on living?
We don't know where we're gonna be after we get married. We'll probably get married and do the honeymoon, and then
move. Or at least move me.
It'll happen. Those things will happen. What order they happen in is still kind of questionable. Basically,
it all just revolves around like where his job's gonna be. And since he's like interviewing and we don't exactly know where it's gonna be yet or what their timing is gonna be, we just kind of have to be super flexible and just see what happens. We're about to drive to San Diego this afternoon, where he has like a little interview kind of meeting thing, and that's a possibility. But we have a bunch of possibilities right now.
I'm not gonna drag Leighann to like, you know, I don't know.
Somewhere we don't wanna be.
Yeah, somewhere we don't wanna be. Somewhere that's not fun, that has stuff that we would both be interested in. And I'm sure we'll be letting everyone know, and you guys will be along for the ride of moving and, you know, setting everything up and looking for a place to live and adjusting.
Subscribe to the vlog channel.
Yeah, you gotta go over to that vlog channel, hit that thumbs down, unsubscribe.
Okay, moving on. Always a supportive man.
Here's a good one I was wondering about. Will you vlog your wedding day?
No, I'm not gonna be vlogging on my wedding day. I mean, I want to, of course, in my like true YouTuber vlogger heart, I want to vlog it because I love vlogging not because I love the act of vlogging. I feel like it really does like take you away from your real life and truly experiencing things completely. And I try to be mindful of that as much as I can while still making a good vlog, which sometimes I fail, sometimes I'm great at. But so I want to do that because at the end you have this really cool, almost like a time capsule where you can go back and look at the whole experience. And I would love to look at a wedding day vlog. I would like to have that for myself, but I think just looking at the cost benefit ratio, I would much rather be like fully plugged in and aware and present on my wedding day and be like with family and friends and Grant and remembering everything and not like focused on like, oh my gosh, where's my camera? You know, I just don't want to be all worried about doing a vlog because yes, it seems like, oh, a vlog is so like natural and whatever, but it's not. You know, you're always having to like go and get your camera and like make sure it's in the right position and stuff like that. And it's just, it actually does take up a big part of your brain whenever you're having to like think about documenting something.
Yeah.
So I just want to be able to like experience my wedding day. And so many people say it goes by in a blur. It just goes by so fast. So I want to do my best to remember everything. And also, I mean, I do plan on sharing our wedding video. That's one thing that, I mean, obviously, like, I love video. So I want to be able to have a great video to share with you guys. And so there will be a wedding video, but there won't be a wedding vlog. There'll probably be vlogs around the wedding, but not the wedding day.
Yeah, I think that's a good decision. I think a lot of people also asked, and this is Ibluger asked, will the wedding be tiki themed and will Luna attend the ceremony?
Yeah.
The wedding's not going to be tiki themed. We have a couple ideas of doing like signature cocktails that may be tiki themed.
We haven't fully fleshed out that idea, but we didn't want to have like a themed wedding. But obviously we love tiki bars and that's something that we both really like and we think is really fun. So it would be cool to incorporate that as like, oh, we have a more like tiki themed bar, or like the menu looks like a tiki bar menu.
Yeah.
Like not too terribly kitschy, but like a little bit. You know, right on the line.
Whatever.
We're still figuring it out.
And is Luna going to attend?
No, so many people ask me that and I love that idea. I wish Luna was like developed enough socially for me to trust her to go into a crowd of people and just like be cool. But Luna has a thing about a lot of times guys that she doesn't know, and she will just like bark at them like crazy. I don't know what it is. It's like something she recognizes it in them, and like a lot of times it's like people even on TV. Like she will see a guy on TV. There will be so many other guys that don't bother her. One guy walks onto the screen and she goes nuts. So I'm not really sure if it's something from her past, I don't know, but it's just like Luna is like way too wild for the party. Like she's just too wild.
She's wild. She is wild.
Very quick, okay. ashleyraina said, what are your biggest pet peeves about each other? Funny, lighthearted. And what does Leighann do that drives Grant crazy? You answer first.
Ooh, are we getting real honest here?
Yes.
I think the only thing that drives me crazy is, or pet peeve would be that you're late.
Okay.
You don't have any like annoying like habits or anything.
I'm so glad you think that.
I mean, we don't live together yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's the only thing that really makes me go.
Okay.
What about you?
I don't know. This is such a hard one. Well, he does this thing like when he wakes up in the morning and he like clears his throat, like I can't even do it, and then he spits onto the floor. I wanted to be serious through the whole thing, it didn't work. I'm just joking. Really real?
Get it out there.
I feel like a jerk saying this. But like table manners stuff.
I have bad table manners?
No, I feel like a jerk. Sometimes
this just got juicy.
Sometimes you chew loud.
You have 25 seconds to fully explain my bad table manners.
No, I do not. Sometimes you chew loudly. I feel like
Dropping you at LAX on the way to San Diego. Bye.
You get into it. Is that wrong? I can't think of anything else. I don't know. I feel like it's very broad to say table manners because he doesn't actually have, do you see this stance right now? It's like, girl, no. So it's very broad to say table manners. Really, it's just like sometimes you chew kind of loud. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, you guys are gonna hate me for saying that. I don't know. And I mean, I feel the same way. He doesn't annoy me. He's not an annoying person. He's just like really like laid back and chill about stuff. Except for right now, he's like ready to stab me. I'm in danger. Help me 911. So I've mentioned that before, but it's not like a thing, you know? So I've mentioned that before.
Yeah. Every time we go out to eat.
No, that's not true.
You ask to be seated at a separate table.
Okay. I'm gonna do like one more question. We need to go.
I think we gotta sign up.
Oh, I don't want to end it here, but we do have to go. I feel like we could answer these questions forever. They're so fun.
Yeah, thank you everyone.
Yeah.
A lot of great questions.
Thank you so much. I want to do more of this. I don't feel like everyone on my channel is going to be like super excited about this kind of Q&A, but there's definitely some of you, at least the people that watch the vlog channel, you guys are going to be into Q&As like this. So maybe we'll do more. I don't know. It all depends on how many thumbs up we get, basically. I'm just kidding, but like I really like a good thumbs up. So give it a thumbs up if you like this kind of video. Comment down below, give us honeymoon suggestions.
Double tap that unsubscribe button for us now.
Don't forget to subscribe and tell Grant that I'm an evil woman.
You're not an evil woman.
I feel bad.
You're riding in the trunk to San Diego.
Okay. All right, should we take dance lessons for the wedding?
You could. Do like
we probably need to.
Do a choreographed first dance?
I'm not a, oh yes. I know that's what Grant wants to do. Grant likes to put on a show. Yes, queen. We gotta go to San Diego. Thank you guys so much for watching and we'll see you guys next time. Bye. So we're getting personal. We're getting real. What are your biggest pet peeve?
Can you bring him a bib?
And I have to have like earplugs, but like what? Hey, at least we're not in separate beds.
Yeah. I think we're having a little bit of